Well, the attending veterinarian has really evolved dramatically because they've been given a position by virtue of the revisions in the regulations. Remember, as I said earlier, the attending veterinarian, really worked at the beck and call and according to the latitude that the scientific community would give them within the institution. And there were institutions which gave no latitude, were not collaborative and collegial in their outlook, and the veterinarian was really very constrained. I mean, there was an era, and there were many institutions in which the laboratory animal veterinarians were simply regarded as the paper signers, because that's about all they did. They did things on paper, but they did not do things in reality. And so, that really began to change quickly within organizations. Again, with different levels of progress according to the philosophy and the psychology and the personality of the organization. But at least on paper, there was now a process, and veterinarians have inexorably fought within institutions to get a fair shake of what they need to have in order to know that they are meeting their ethical commitments within the institution. So I think the grand difference has been that at one point we had a sense that there was an ethical commitment, although there was not much discussion about what the dimension of that was pre-1985. But even if we had a sense of what the ethical commitment was, there was certainly no assurance that you could express that ethical commitment. After 1985, there was a growing sense of what's expected with broad public discussion. And there was a system of support that could help veterinarians evolve. And as I mentioned, I think AALAC played an important role in that, because as AALAC site visits programs, if it sees dysfunctional programs, it can cast the spotlight on the critical pieces that need to be improved so that the attending vet can achieve what they need to achieve. Yes, it's very interesting. Institutions have their own particular personalities. In some institutions, the scientific staff is very collegial and collaborative with the veterinarian. And if the veterinarian happens to have scientific interests as well, then that is a really nice match, because the veterinarian can play an active role working with scientists and be visible in the promotion of science in that regard, as well as the running of a top quality program which certainly promotes animal welfare and assists science in general. Then there are other programs which have the profile that they value what the veterinarian does. The veterinarian may not be involved in science, but at least they value what the veterinarian is doing to promote the welfare and health of the animals and the efficient management of the program. And in programs which are appreciative of the veterinarian per se, as the veterinarian, that can also be a really highly functional and satisfying arrangement for both the scientific enterprise at the organization and the veterinarian. But the problem occurs when there are organizations that don't have an appreciation for the veterinarian, or they expect the veterinarian to participate in science, and the veterinarian, sometimes some veterinarians aren't capable of participating in science. Some veterinarians, frankly, don't want to participate in science. They want to just be too regulatory in their outlook. And so this then creates a conflict with the faculty, and it's it's sort of like the small wound becoming a big wound by virtue of scratching it too much over and over. It just, the agitation level, because of the mismatch in personalities and in approaches, can be a real impediment to both providing then a quality program of veterinary care, and in providing a program of veterinary care that's complementary to making good progress in science. So, I think in the ideal circumstance, if a veterinarian wants to succeed, they certainly have to express their broad appreciation for science, if nothing else. I don't believe in all programs that's going to be a guarantee that they will succeed, because there are still some programs where, although many things have been surrendered by the scientists, feel they have already surrendered so much by going through all this extensive paperwork to be able to do their work, but they still haven't surrendered the underlying personality that they are operating a higher tier, and they're just not going to appreciate things which don't dwell in that higher tier. Those are environments which are they're uniformly tough for the veterinarians that take on those positions. And those are some of the toughest and frankly, they're some of the most interesting challenges that are out there for the veterinarians that want to take those on. The cautionary note being, of course, that to the scientists, there aren't really very many veterinarians that want to take those on, and to the veterinarians, beware of what you think you're getting into. I mean, you think you want it, but you may find it's tougher than you think. So it takes a unique person to function in those kinds of environments and pull off the transformation that's required.